Hey everybody, it's December 22nd, 2022. A little chilly here in Dallas. Looks like about 13, 14 degrees with a wind chill under zero, below zero. So here we are, and I just wanted to talk about biblical cosmology just for a little bit. Been learning a lot about Copernicus theory starting in 1473 up to present time. Measurements. I wanted to talk about biblical cosmology. In a world that tells us we live on a ball that's shaped like this, in a world that tells us that people who stand on top of the ball are also standing upright here and are also standing upright here because of gravity, which pulls mass towards the center of the ball, that you're staying upright, and staying upright. That's what we were taught since age 5, and most believe today. Something called gravity. So we will reject that for a bit, and we'll get into biblical cosmology. We'll start at the very beginning with Genesis 1. Verse 1. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was unformed and void, and darkness was upon the face of the earth, and the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, one day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and there was evening, and there was morning, a second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth put forth grass, herb yielding seed, and fruit bearing fruit after its kind, wherein is the seed thereof upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, herb yielding seed after its kind, and tree bearing fruit, wherein is the seed thereof after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a third day. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, and give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. I have 5 videos, the latest being November 1st and November 3rd of this year, where the lit part of the moon was not looking towards the sun. Five videos. We're told from our youngest years that the sun lights the moon. I have 5 videos, not Photoshop, not pictures, that show that the lit part of the moon is not facing the sun. You look up in the sky, look for yourself. Line of sight, straight line, does not work that way all the time. The light, the sun is self-illuminating. Verse 17, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a fourth day. And God said, let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let fowl fly upon the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created the great sea monsters, and every living creature that creepeth, wherewith the water swarmed after its kind, and every winged fowl after its kind, and God saw that it was good. After its kind. After its kind. He said it 7 times. Debunks evolution, debunks adaptation right there. After its kind. Dogs produce puppies, cats produce kittens. There is no adaptation, there is no evolution. After its kind. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, a 5th day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after its kind, cattle and creeping thing, the beast of the earth, after its kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after its kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the ground after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let them make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them give dominion over the flesh, over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is a living soul, I have given every green herb for food. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. God saw that it was very good. At the end of the 6th day, God saw that it was very good. He didn't rest on the 7th day and come back on the 8th day and create Moderna and Pfizer. God saw that it was very good. Satan cannot create anything, only God can. If you want to prove to me that God created viruses that can cause illness, disease, and death, have at it. Genesis 1, first 31 verses. Evolution is debunked. Germ theory is debunked. And the ball is debunked. That's why they don't want you to read it. Matthew 5, 34 and 35, King James Version. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool. When does a footstool look like this, shaped like this? Neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Matthew 5:45, King James Version. That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven, for he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. Jesus said, for he maketh his sun, S-U-N, to rise. Just like he talked about in Matthew 5, 34 and 35, which I just read. It is God, the earth is God's footstool. Jesus' words. Hosea 10, verse 12 to 13. Then spoke Hosea to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. The sun and the moon stood still. The earth did not stop spinning. God had the sun and the moon stand still. So there was time to defeat the enemy. Not my words. It's in God's words. His owner's manual to us. Psalms 19:1, King James Version. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Genesis 7, verse 11, King James Version. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the deep, the great deep, broken up, and the windows of heaven are opened up. You maybe want to know why the sky is blue? Maybe the sky is water. Maybe Genesis 1, 6 through 10, water is above, water is below, with earth or land coming out of the water. The water contains the land and not the other way around. We are clearly a water world. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 20, King James Version. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. Vain, profane, and vain babblings. Where have you heard that? Science. We're told that Alpha Centauri is 25 trillion miles away, 4.347 light years away, 25 trillion miles away. We're told that Polaris at one time in the 1990s was 434 light years away. There's 5.88 trillion miles in a light year, supposedly, which is like 2.5 quadrillion miles. But they told us recently that they were off by 25%. That's okay. It's only 323 light years away, but that's okay. They made up for their mistake. They found out, they admitted it. Good for them. The sun is 93 million miles away. The moon is 238,000 miles away. We have something called the Great Attractor, which the whole universe now supposedly revolves around, because the sun no longer does that. We're really not heliocentric. We're Great Attractor centric, or in my opinion, we're Satan centric, but that's a discussion for another day. Vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. There was a gentleman by the name of Cardinal Wolsey, Catholic Church, who said we are going to work against the Bible. We are going to teach against the Bible. So they started science against the Bible. Ignatius in 1539 had a time before the Pope. He walked in and said, we want to take over the universities, we want to take over lawyers, we want to take over medicine. 1539, he was the first black pope under the Catholic Church. Started around 1540 with the Jesuits. Jesuits took over, hostile takeover of the Catholic Church, basically all done by 1563. So the Jesuits took over Catholicism, much like Freemasonry has taken over Protestant churches. So that's where we are today. Ephesians 6:12, New International Version. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. We don't fight flesh and blood, we fight satanic, demonic forces. And the greatest, in my opinion, satanic and demonic forces that we face is on social media, where how many thousands of people are on social media pushing this shape of the earth. This is a Satan invention, a Satan fabrication of the earth being a sphere, a ball, a globe. That's what we fight. We fight against the powers of the dark world and against the spiritual forces of heaven, of evil in heavenly realms. That's what we fight against. Didn't show you here we go with Isaiah 66:1. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is thy throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye built upon me, and where is the place of my rest? Footstool, people. Footstool versus a ball that we're taught since age 5, if not sooner. Shape, what it looks like, ball that we're taught. This is a stationary topographical plane, level plane. This is a ball. The Bible says God's footstool is like this, and we're told that we live on this. Can it be more obvious that we've been lied to since age 5? First Chronicles 16:30, New International Version. Tremble before him, all the earth. The world is firmly established. It cannot be moved. Psalms 96:10, King James Version. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. Psalms 93:1, King James Version. The Lord reigneth. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also shall be established, then it cannot be moved. Psalms 19:6. The sun rises at one end of the heavens and follows its course to the other end. Nothing can hide from its heat. The sun moves across the sky. We don't spin. Isaiah 11:12, King James Version. And he shall set up an ensign. Ensign is a flag for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Where is there four corners on this? I don't see four corners on a ball. This is a satanic invention, folks. You got to understand how propaganda works. You get them young, you repeat the lie often, and you ridicule the opposition. Isaiah 40:22, King James Version. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants therefore thereof are as grasshoppers. We're not grasshoppers, are as grasshoppers, that stretches out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Where did they ever come up with the circle of the earth being a sphere, a ball, a globe? In 1610, the Jesuits came out with their Bible. 1610, it said sphere, S-P-H-E-R-E. That's where it came from. This is where Isaiah 40:22 went from being a circle of the earth to being a sphere. The Jesuits, 1610, in their first Bible that they put out. They said sphere. That's where it came from, folks. It didn't come from science. It didn't come from anything that a scientist did. It is a religion. It is a philosophy. This, the shape of the ground you walk on, is a philosophy and a religion. It does not exist. Sorry if that bothers some people. Isaiah 38:8, King James Version. Behold, I will bring again the shadow of the degrees, which is gone down in the sundial of Hazath, 10 degrees backwards, so the sun returned 10 degrees, by which degrees it was gone down. The earth did not stop and go back. The sun moved back 10 degrees. Daniel 4:11. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached into the heaven, and the sight thereof to the end of all the earth. Where's an end on here? Is there an end on here? I think it just goes round and round and round and round and round. There is no end. Timothy, 1 Timothy 3:15, King James Version. But if I tarry long, that thou mayest know how thou oughtest to behave thyself in the house of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and the ground of the truth. Where is there a pillar? See a pillar? I don't think there's a pillar on a ball, is there? Pillar goes into the ground, horizontal, level. Isaiah 48:13, King James Version. Mine hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and the right hand hath thou spanned the heavens. When I call upon them, they stand up together. The foundations of the earth. Where is there a foundation here? There's a core, but there's no foundation. A foundation, you build a house on a foundation. The foundation is level. The foundation is horizontal. The foundation is flat. It is not a ball. A ball has a core. Revelation 7:1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. 4 corners? No 4 corners on a ball. Revelation 1:7, King James Version. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. He cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him. If you live on a ball and he comes here in the clouds, half of the earth cannot see him if you believe you live on a ball. But it says, every eye shall see him. It's only possible if you live on a stationary topographical plane or something that's horizontal, not on this. These are some of the reasons they don't want you to read the Bible. Satan knows God more than anyone. He knows the Bible more than anyone. So Satan knows God, so he wants to hide you from God. Satan knows there's truth, so Satan hides you from the truth. Ephesians 6:12, I read it. We battle not against flesh and blood, but against the spirits, the evil spirits. Colossians 2, verse 8. Don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense that come from human thinking and from the spiritual powers of this world, rather than from Christ. Empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense. Where have you heard that? Basically every time you turn on the news, on TV. High-sounding nonsense. Tiny invisible microbes cause illness, disease, and death. You live on a ball. We went out and hit an asteroid, diverted it just a little bit. The stars are so far away. The light that we see started 10,000 years ago, just reaching us now. That is high-sounding nonsense. Daniel 7, verse 25, King James Version. He shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of them. He shall wear out the saints. We're talking about Satan, the devil, wanting to wear out the saints of the Most High. What did they try to do to people that go online and say we don't live on a ball? They bring out all this high-sounding nonsense. They divert us. They waste our time. They try to wear us out. So we give up. Please don't give up. Isaiah 48:13, King James Version. Mine hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I call upon them, they stand up together. Foundation. No foundation on a ball, folks. No foundations on a ball. Ezekiel chapter 1:26, King James Version. And above the firmament there was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. What color is a sapphire? And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. Exodus 24:10, King James Version. And they saw God of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. Job 37:18, King James Version. Hath thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass. The sky is strong. We're not going to get through it. Every time that we say we put a rocket through it and went into outer space or went to the moon, we kill God just a little bit. Nietzsche said, we have killed God. Every time we go into outer space and get past the sky, this firmament, which is strong, we kill God just a little bit more. Some say that the Protestant Reformation started in 1517 when Martin Luther started opening up his Bible. Catholic Church was not real big in people opening up their Bible. They went to Rome for their knowledge. The Pope, he opened up his Bible and he saw that the earth does not revolve around the sun. He put his 95 theses on a church door. One of the things he objected to was the Catholic Church selling repentance. He went to a priest, got forgiveness. He had to pay the priest for forgiveness. Money. He didn't like that. Along comes John Calvin. John Calvin said this: we shall see some who are so deranged, not only in religion, but who in all things reveal their monstrous nature, that they will say that the sun does not move, and that it is the earth which shifts and turns. When we see such minds, we must indeed confess that the devil possessed them, and that God set them before us as mirrors in order to keep us in his fear. When we see people online, social media, who say that the earth revolves around the sun or moves around the sun, John Calvin says we should see them as deranged and devil possessed. John Calvin's words. Hosea 4 verse 6, King James Version. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, and I will also forget thy children. It's believing in God's creation that I've been talking about here. That's in the Bible, his owner's manual to the world. Salvation issue. My folks never brought it up with me. Bought me a telescope when I was 10, which I still have. I believe they're in heaven. And I think they believe we live on a ball. Can it be a salvation issue for some? Absolutely. Can it enhance your relationship with God to know that you don't live on this, that God created something special for you? It's as Omar Turbo said, the Philadelphia Christian Church. He said, and I paraphrase, that if you understand God's creation at this most basic level, Genesis 1 and what I've read out tonight, if you understand God's creation at this most basic level, He will take you places that you've never been before. Let that sink in. If you understand God at its most, God's creation at the most basic level, a stationary topographical plane and not a ball, He will take you places that you could never imagine. Think about that as you go into 2023. Just a thought. A couple more and we'll wrap it up. Andrew Pinsett, more of a modern day Catholic priest, said this: quite often young people ask me the following question: how can you be a priest and believe in the Big Bang? To which I am delighted to respond, we invented it. To which I am delighted to respond, we invented it. Or more precisely, Father George Lemaitre invented a theory that is today called the Big Bang, and everyone should know about him. George Lemaitre, 1927, 1928, came out with the Big Bang, something from nothing, that everything that we see today, plants, animals, people, came from a single amoeba in the ocean. People believe that. And here's why. George Wald, Nobel Prize winning George Wald, said this: that leads us scientifically to only to one possible conclusion. He had concluded that evolution wasn't really going to work out. So that leads us scientifically to only one possible conclusion: that life arose as a supernatural creative act of God. I will not accept that philosophically because I do not want to believe in God. Therefore, I choose to believe in that which I know is scientifically impossible: spontaneous generation arising to evolution. George Wald, Origin of Life, Scientific American, August 1954. Why would they lie? Many reasons, but I think the main reason is they hate God. Just what George Wald said there. You have some people who started this heliocentric, Satan-centric philosophy, religion, because there is no ball, sphere, globe, planet. One of them was Johannes Kepler. You had Newton, who was a Freemason. You had Copernicus, which I don't think lived. You had Galileo. This is what Johannes Kepler said: I demonstrate by means of philosophy that the earth is round and is inhabited on all sides, that it is insignificantly small and is born through the stars. There is no ball, there is no sphere, there is no planet, there is no globe, there is no sun 93 million miles away, there is no moon 238,000 miles away. We don't travel at 30 kilometers per second. We don't travel at 18.75 miles per second around the sun, or 66,000 miles per hour. We do not. 450,000 miles per hour throughout the Milky Way galaxy at 1.3 million miles per hour throughout an ever-expanding universe, while Polaris, the North Star, has always remained fixed above the North Pole, and the sky has always revolved counterclockwise around Polaris. As far as we know, the constellations have always remained fixed within themselves, and the light from those stars has remained fixed as well, not gotten brighter or more dim. And we would have traveled almost 2 trillion miles, T with a trillion, over the last 200 years, and the sky above us resets every year. Impossible if you were going through those insane speeds on a wobbling, tilted, spinning ball. Impossible. No matter how much your education and entertainment tells you, no matter how much your friends and your family tells you you're nuts, it's impossible. The eyes are useless if the mind is blind. We are all born into a prison system that we cannot see, therefore we cannot get out of. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the ability to think for yourself. Please think for yourself. Make it as a goal in 2023 to think for yourself. So anyway, December 22nd, Christmas is soon. You'll be getting together with family, friends, loved ones. I want you to have an absolutely fantastic time. If you want and so choose to, bring up the fact that you don't live on this. I don't know your situations in life. We don't live on an earth that looks like this. We live on a stationary topographical plane. So anyway, we have a trail to blaze, folks. Saddle up your horses. We have a trail to blaze in 2023. Get ready, get on your horse, and get ready to go. This is God's creation. Wish everybody a great holiday season. Hopefully we can talk in 2023. Take care, and thanks for listening.